Hey, I'm Dave Watkins, Watkins Films. Now today we're going to talk about a film that is still kind of a Halloween film. Yeah, it takes place on Halloween, so I didn't really get around to it last month, but now we're gonna take a look at it today. This was recommended to me by my good friend Nate Hill, who I've also recently done some horror podcast with him. We both participated in a horror podcast called The Conversations in Horror with Kevin Powers is the main host for that podcast. And I'm going to go ahead and put a link below to one of those podcasts so you can take a look at it. He also put some, I'm going to put a YouTube link. He does it through YouTube and also through podcast channels. But the film we're going to take a look at today is this 1992 made-for-TV supernatural horror film, Ghost Watch. And it's really a little bit more than that. Ghost Watch is kind of like War of the Worlds when Orson Welles did the radio broadcast and people actually believed it. And this is a predecessor to the Blair Witch Project, which both of these are. This is more found footage, but this was a trick, and I don't know if they intended it to be that way, but they put on this show. It was on Halloween night in 1992 on BBC in the UK, and they put on this show that looked like it was just a regular kind of news show where these you had a guy Michael Parkinson is in the studio with talking with another lady, and they're just kind of talking in a studio like they're switched back and forth to the documentary crew who's at this house that is apparently haunted, and this lady here, Sarah Green, all these people are playing themselves, and they all were at the time BBC television personalities, so it made it look like it was like a real TV documentary that they were filming on Halloween night, and also there's this guy here who's at this kind of a call number place where people are calling in. Apparently it's supposed to be like viewers who are watching the show are calling in and telling them about haunted house stories that happened to them. And so you got those three things going on, and apparently people when they were watching it thought it was real, and it's kind of the way it's presented, it never really acts like it's not real. So if you look at it thinking about it from that viewpoint, it's pretty impressive what they accomplished here. And they did trick a lot of people, and they were calling into the station really like freaking out over the end of this. Now Nate, who hadn't seen, at the time when I talked to him about this, he hadn't seen Late Night with the Devil, and he's asked if it was similar to that. Now, Late Night with the Devil, this is a recent film, and this film doesn't ever really try to trick the audience into thinking that it's real. I mean, that's one of the things. Ever since the Blair Witch did that in the movie theater, where they were acting like it was a real documentary about people who had disappeared. But Late Night with the Devil never. You always know what it is from the beginning, and actually, this is a much better movie, but it wasn't. Ghost Watch, on the other hand, though, is very authentic in the way that they did trick people and they thought it was real, and it does have a little bit of scary stuff going on in here. They have inside the house that's supposed to be haunted. There's a door that goes into another room that's kind of blocked off, and that's kind of where there's maybe something going on behind that, and they kind of partially reveal that near the end of the film. And even like the radio, not the radio station, the TV station, you're assuming when you're watching the movie the people at the TV station are going to be safe, but by the end of it they're also being conflicted with the poltergeist or the supernatural entity, which also was freaking out viewers, because not only was the studio, like weird stuff was sort of happening at the studio, and they were getting like fake calls. Like they had fake calls from callers saying that weird stuff was happening at their house from just watching the video. Like they posted like a video earlier on, and people were calling in and saying that they saw it differently or saw different things. And so people at home were like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And they thought maybe they're going to be haunted, because it was insinuating that just because you were watching this broadcast that something really crazy was about to happen to you too. And it's pretty amazing they were able to trick people like that. And and they haven't been able to trick people in a long time with something of this nature because they kind of caught on to it. Maybe when another medium comes around, they did it. Orson Welles did it with the radio. These guys did it with, obviously not as effective. I mean, the more people are aware of these sort of situations, the harder it is to trick them. I don't know if there will be another circumstance where people will be able to be tricked by such a thing as this. So this is a Blu-ray disc put out by 101 Films, and so this was a TV made for TV. It's supposed to look like a newscast, so it's not really the best quality, and that's quite intentional because it was shot for TV, and I'm not even sure what it was probably shot on video or something. But this Blu-ray does present an upscaled version of it, which probably doesn't help the quality of it. It is shot in 1:33:1, also known as 4:3, where you've got the black bars on the side like this. Now, as far as watching this from as a modern audience point of view, I do appreciate it, but and it still is fairly well done. Even like especially this lady here, Sarah Green, she's very likable. I really like what she's doing throughout the whole thing. But with the way that it does kind of, and the way that it's basically having to trick the viewers, nothing too crazy happens until near the end of it. So most of it's like a lot of exposition and a little bit of fun and games going on, but it's all kind of build up until the end, and then it gets a little crazy, but it doesn't go too crazy. It still does like the Blair Witch, where it doesn't necessarily show stuff, but some people get hurt on camera, and like the sound guy gets injured, which is pretty convincing. And then you see like a hint of something called pipes. They call the ghost pipes because it rattles the pipes. So you see a hint of that ghost in behind the door once they open it. But you really got to appreciate the way that they were able to trick the audience with this film. This also includes a documentary on it and a commentary with the writer and the producer of the film. There is a limited edition version of this that has a better slipcover on the outside. I wasn't aware of the film existing at the time when the limited edition came out, so I didn't get that one. I want to point out here about this is pretty funny. On the front cover here, it's got all the actors' names in it, and at the end of that it says "and Pipes," and as you know, Pipes is the name of the ghost, and it's pretty funny they put him on there like he's one of the actors in the film. So let's take a quick look at the inside of this thing. So there's your disc, and there's also a reversible cover here. This is the original. No, not the original. This is the poster you would see if you had the limited edition box set. I found this film to be very unique in its execution, and it's just because of it's like a pioneer, almost like a pioneer of found footage stuff that would later, go on to Blair Witch. Now we have all kinds of lots of found footage. Now, found footage stuff has kind of run its course until Late Night with the Devil, which was really Late Night with the Devil is closer to this film because of the way it is in a news studio, or this one takes place on a talk show, but it is inside of a studio instead of where you've got cameras all over the place, rather than a lot of the times on found footage films, it's just like a few cameras following them around. But this is like both this one and Ghostwatch are kind of a structured studio environment sort of situation, even though the house in Ghostwatch is just kind of a documentary crew following people around. So you have to really appreciate this film for being kind of one of the first of its kind and kind of starting that found footage trend, for better or worse. I would recommend seeing this TV episode show. It's 90 minutes long, but I would recommend watching it just because it is a movie that influenced a lot of other things that came after it. So for that purpose, and it is very well done for what it is. Anyway, if you've seen it before, let me know what you think. And if you haven't done so already, if you go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm Dave Watkins. Thanks for watching.